Hello everyone, today's May 26, 2021. It's 3:13 in the afternoon and it's 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. In this video, I'm going to be doing a walk through the entirety of Lafayette Street in Lower Manhattan, starting from the Manhattan Municipal building. Officially, its name is the David Dinkins Municipal building, named after the former New York City mayor. But this houses most of the New York City government workers. The Brooklyn Bridge is right over here next to the Manhattan Municipal building, and City Hall is that way, the New York City Hall. Now, Lafayette Street doesn't actually start for another block. It starts at the intersection of Center Street and Reade Street. Here's Chambers Streets. FDNY emergency vehicle making its way through the intersection. Now you can see how historic this building is. It says over there, New Amsterdam, which was the original name of New York when the Dutch settled here. Manhattan, and then you have the current name of New York after the English took it over. And at the top of the Manhattan Municipal building, you have a statue there called the Civic Fame. Over here you have the Surrogates Court building. We're going to be walking through several neighborhoods today. The one I'm in right now is called the Civic Center, and then we're going to walk through Chinatown, and then Soho, then NoLIta, then NoHo, and we'll end at Aster Place, which is where Lafayette Street ends. So here's the start of Lafayette Street here. To my right is Center Street and all the courthouses. Well, actually there's more courthouses on the left side, but the ones over to my right are the most impressive. You have the United States courthouse and also the New York State courthouse next to it. All right, now I'm on Lafayette Streets. The entrance to 2 Lafayette Street, which is also a government building, New York City government building. Over to my left here, we have another courthouse, the U.S. Court of International Trade. So a little bit of history about Lafayette Street. The street was named after Marquis de Lafayette. He was a French hero of the American Revolutionary War. And the origins of the street began in 1804. When John Jacob Aster, who was the wealthiest person in the world back then, he turned this street into real estate speculation. He bought a large market garden in 1804 for $45,000 and erected a popular resort and called it Vauxhall Gardens, after the famous resort on the edge of London. And then when the lease expired in 1825, Aster cut a new street through. A 100-foot wide, 3-block boulevard with no cross streets began at Aster Place and it ended at Great Jones Street. And the street name back then was Lafayette Place. And then the street just got more and more developed as time went on and got extended all the way down here, almost all the way to the Brooklyn Bridge.
Where does this family live?
Here we have Wurf Street, and we have a building over here. I think this set of buildings over to my right here is called the Tombs. And I believe the Department of Sanitation headquarters, as well as the Department of Health headquarters, are in this building here at 125 Wurf Street. Also, some interesting information about this block here. This is the Federal Building. And the reason why they couldn't build this Federal Building up closer is because there's actually an abandoned subway station underneath this. And in fact, I took the train and I saw that abandoned subway station. It's the Wurf Street subway station. And the reason why it's abandoned is because back then the IRT, the Interborough Rapid Transit, who owned the subway back then, they needed to expand the platform. But it was infeasible because extending it further up would interfere with the Brooklyn Bridge station further down. So because of that, they closed the station and abandoned it. Also, while they were erecting the Federal Building, they found a large population of human remains underneath. And it turns out that a lot of the area was used as a potter's field for many of the workers back then. Many of them were African Americans, and right now they're remembered in the African burial ground next to the Federal Building. There's another look at 125 Wurf Street. And we're not done with the Civic Center yet. There's still more. Over there you have a park called the Collect Pond Park. And originally in Manhattan they had a large pond that was New York City's drinking water for many, many years. But over time that pond got polluted and they needed to drain the pond. Hence why there's a park there now. And the pond actually was diverted onto a bunch of canals, which is where Canal Street is now. And the original canal is still under Canal Street. But this area originally was not a good area. It was very swampy. The land conditions here were unsuitable for living. And many historical accounts have been written on this area here. It was originally called the Five Points when it got developed further. Don't know what's going on there. Over here to my right is the New York Civil Court.
It's never worth the risk.
Over to my left here we have a NYU building. We're going to see a lot of these NYU buildings as we walk along. Most of the NYU buildings are located around the Greenwich Village area. So over to my right here, we have a fire station, Engine 31. Also very beautiful building.
Since we spoke yesterday, have you had any fever, chills?
Ahorita las dos, habla con ella.
Sí, yo hablé con ella.
I saw that woman over there was wearing a Bowery Mission jacket. That's an organization which does a lot of good for the poor and people in financial needs. I know they do a lot of drives and food pantry related stuff, soup kitchens. All right, now we're going to see a little bit of Chinatown now. Over there you've got Lafayette Tea Shop, Popeyes, 99 cents pizza. Over here, 110 Lafayette, this old sign says hardware building. TD Bank is over here now in the corner. Here's Canal Street, which I told you earlier, the original canal still underneath it. And this runs right through Chinatown, connecting the Holland Tunnel all the way to the Manhattan Bridge. This is why there's so much traffic here. Looks like we have someone here in the middle of doing their artwork. Oh, this is beautiful. Tropicalis, New York Lottery, grocery. Let's hope I don't get copyrighted by the Red Hot Chili Peppers or their agents. That would be a shame. Great song though. Chinatown doesn't really extend too much this way north of Lafayette Street. We're quickly going to head into the Soho neighborhood. In fact, many of these neighborhoods, they overlap with each other and boundaries aren't really set in stone. Like you can consider NoLIta, Soho as well. They kind of like overlap with each other, especially on Lafayette Street. But NoLIta, I should explain, is an acronym. It stands for North of Little Italy. And Little Italy is actually over to my right, mostly located along Mulberry Street. Here we got the Blick Art Materials Store. The Museum of Chinese in America across the streets. Very good museum. And then you got an awesome place here called Nomo Soho. I think it's a hotel. Very large hotel, as you can see. Yep, NoMo Soho is a 4-star hotel, boutique hotel. I just looked it up. So now we're going to pass over Grand Street. And over there you can kind of make out the old police headquarters at Center Street. But those are luxury condos at the corner of Center Street and Grand Streets. Over here you can definitely see the cast iron architecture of the Soho neighborhood, the south of Houston. Here we've got a few buildings, mostly residential. Also a big vacant lot to my left. It's kind of strange that you still see like the borders of Chinatown in this area. There you have Yan Foot Spa. Although it looks like it's under renovation. I see brown paper in the window. Here's a business called K&W Trading, but it's closed. Here's the Tsingtao Daily company. They operate the newspaper in New York City. Crossing over Broome Street now, which is technically the northern limit of Little Italy now. So now we're going to be entering NoLIta. And by the way, Center Street is going to end in a block or two. Center Street and Lafayette Street pretty much parallel each other, going all the way up here. I forgot to also mention too that Center Street is spelled the English way as C-E-N-T-R-E. A leftover from the English spelling. It's kind of strange how that name was allowed to stay and not pronounced the American English way. Here we've got a few great restaurants. There's a local coffee spot called Cafe Select. You can check out their menu. Also, they have brunch available. Over here we have the Morini Osteria Romangolo. Morini is open for Memorial Day. Here's what they have. Really cool. And now here's one of my personal favorite restaurants coming up. Jack's wife Reade. No, it's the one after this. This one's Bo Coffee. It's a Vietnamese restaurant. Now here's Jack's wife Reade, and you can see that people share the same idea. It's a pretty crowded place. They've got wonderful brunch options. They're very famous for their green sauce. I'll show you the menu to tell you what I'm talking about. Here we go, green shashuka. That's what they're really known for. But everything here is really good. I haven't had anything on the menu here that was bad. I don't think they take reservations, so you'll have to come early and make sure that you secure a spot. There's a cool little spot here at 60 Spring Street. Looks like L'Occitane is no longer here. The space is available. Here's a neat little spot here called Blank Street. You can easily pass this by, but neat little coffee shop in the wall. Really cool. They even have some bagels available, hand rolled and kettle boiled in Brooklyn. Chocolate chip cookie, vegan cookie, carrot cake as well. And here's another cafe, Iconic Cafe, Magazines, Beer, and Lotto. By Chloe. This is entirely plant-based food. So a lot of vegan, vegetarian options around here. I know there's a big difference between vegan and vegetarian. I believe vegan means that the food can't have any animal products at all. So stuff like butter is not allowed in vegan cuisine, but vegetarians can have butter. But correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. It's another firehouse to my right, ladder 20, engine 13. Like even stuff like honey. Honey is an animal product, so vegans, they won't have it, but vegetarians may have it.
I sent it to you and 6 hours later I was like, wait, why has it?
Here's another awesome spot here, Soho Park. They also got a veggie menu, so.
No, wait, actually, I don't know. I just.
Sorry, man.
Here's Prince Street. There's a billboard with the letters NFT on it. I think that's a new thing right now related to cryptocurrency, non-fungible token. It's even too new for me to understand. Here we have a shoe store. going to cross over Houston Street soon, right after we go to Jersey Street, which is also a very interesting street, Jersey Street, because it really resembles like a small quiet street that you'll see New York City depicted in the movies. Here it is. I can even walk through the street and walk back. I don't think I've ever walked through Jersey Street before. And this is the back of Jersey Street, Crosby Street. It is a cobblestone street. Technically it's Belgian blocks, but New Yorkers, they refer to all streets of this style as cobblestone. Well, let's go back to Lafayette. So over here to my right is the REI store. It says there camp, cycle, and ski on the facade. Also a very historical building, the Puck building. REI sporting goods store. Here's Houston Streets. Well, that's something I've never seen. Medical vehicle in a Jeep. So now we've crossed over Houston Street. This is the neighborhood of NoHo now, north of Houston Street. There's a lot of great places along NoHo as well, including one that I just discovered while I was biking up here. Got the Press Juicery across the street, also a place called Cha Cha Matcha. Here's Bleecker Street. Here's a place that was really busy when I passed by. I didn't know they had a location here. Levine Bakery. I think this might be my favorite bakery in the city. Their breads are absolutely amazing. Look at this, as soon as I mention it, people are going in. 10 customers at a time. Even though it's my favorite bakery in the city, I don't really go there that often because I know I'll have to walk a lot more to shed those pounds. Even though I like to showcase a lot of food and drink places on this channel, I don't frequently go eat out that as much as you think. I'm very health conscious. All right, coming up, we've got another place that seems to be pretty popular. This is the Honey Brains restaurant. Specialty drinks. Juices, plates, bowls, sandwiches. That looks healthy. We got a big corner restaurant called Atla here. Let's take a look at their menu. Really cool. Seems to be a Mexican restaurant. Here's a place that's just called Lafayette on Lafayette Street. Another NYU building over here.
Oh, it's not?
Did you know that the wealthiest private landowner in New York City after the federal and local governments is NYU? Here's La Colombe Coffee Roasters. Also, I forgot to mention a block back, I just passed by Great Jones Street, which was the extent of the original Lafayette Street, called Lafayette Place. But you see how far the extension went since it started. Here's an NYU building, NYU Athletics. Though, to be honest, it looks like this side is under construction. They have a lot of construction materials over to the left. Yeah, it is under construction. Look at that. Over here we have the Public Theater building. It's one of the original buildings from the early Lafayette Street. I think this immediate area is called Colonnade Row. Here's a cool spot. Indochine. That's just a drink menu. Look at that. I was right, Colonnade Row. These 4 houses constitute the remaining portion of a colonnade of 9, originally named La Grange Terrace after the country seat of the Marquis de Lafayette when constructed in 1831 by Seth Gear. This was considered the finest row of private dwellings in the city. Its residents have included John Jacob Aster and Washington Irving. And here it is. Greek Revival architecture. I was standing right under it. There's the Blue Man Group box office. Lots of deliveries happening here. There's another part of Public Theater, also part of Colonnade Row. Although this one definitely needs a lot of renovations, a new paint job for sure. And here we have Aster Place, which is the end of Lafayette Street because after this block it turns into 4th Avenue, which continues as 4th Avenue until Union Square. I'm going to walk into Aster Place right now to the art installation there that's very famous called the Alamo. It's a spinning cube. You can't really spin the cube unless you have a lot of technique or you're very strong. You need at least 2 people. I've seen people do it by themselves, but it's a struggle for me. All right, here we are, Aster Place. Hey, what's up? I was just ending the video here. I did a walk of Lafayette. I know it's so hot today. Look at that. We got a spotting just as we're ending the video. But here it is, the Aster Place Cube. Hope you enjoyed this walk of Lafayette Street in its entirety. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button for me. Subscribe for some more videos like these. And I'll see you next time. Take it easy, everyone. Bye-bye.